And we're back. This time we're going to talk about something that's probably going to ruffle a few feathers. What's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if this is the first video that you have ever clicked on, welcome. I'm Diana. I'm the creator of Money Boss Mama, and on this channel I talk about paying off debt, saving money, budgeting, all that good stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, then stick around. But in this video we are going to be talking about dating and finances. So I know that money by itself is super taboo. People don't really like talking about it. You have to be hush hush about money. But adding dating into the mix makes it super taboo. And I got this idea from someone on Instagram. I don't want to butcher her name, so I'm just going to link it on the screen. She's super amazing. Follow her. But she said that she had came across an article where they were like, don't talk about finances when you're dating because it's super awkward. Okay. And coming from someone like me that teaches women about money, talking about money is super important. So I asked you guys if you would be interested in a video about dating and finances. Mostly everyone said yes. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Just talking about why you should be talking about money in the dating phase, and as well as a few tips on how to make it less awkward. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the way I see dating is it's like the tester phase. You're trying to figure out if this person's values align with yours, if your personalities mesh well together, all of the beginner stuff. And I think that I'm right to assume that most of my subscribers are on their own financial journeys. And it's important for you to align yourself with someone with that same financial vision, because especially if you're dating with purpose, you are dating this person in hopes of you two coming together in unison, and you want to be on the same page, financially. So just like, you want to make sure before you get serious with someone that you are on the same page when it comes to having kids or not having kids, when it comes to religious views. Are you able to look past someone's religious views, or is it going to cause conflict? You want to discuss finances as well, because eventually these things are going to come up in your in your relationship, and they can make or break your relationship. So it's super important to make sure that you are open to discussing your finances with this person, depending on where you are in your relationship, because when you opt not to discuss finances with someone, you may eventually fall head over heels. And we all know it's hard to practice discernment when you're in love, but you may be falling head over heels for somebody that is going to send your finances and your mental health up shit creek, basically. And some people that are watching this video, like, you may know that there are certain times where people will gaslight you into giving them money or loaning them money, as they like to say. And that's because this person maybe cannot afford their own lifestyle. They can't afford to maintain their own lifestyle. And you got in a relationship with this person and you had literally no idea what their spending habits were, because you weren't open to having that discussion to talk about different viewpoints on money. Or, you may get into a full-blown relationship with this person. You guys move in together, and then you realize that this person is not financially responsible. They're a spender, and so most of the financial burden is on you. And I know that there are plenty of people who have been in this situation, and we all know, like, when the finances are all on you, that causes a lot of stress. So your mental health is at stake as well. And then when you have most of the financial responsibilities on you because you didn't know that this person was not financially responsible, it starts to amplify like other issues that arise in your relationship. It just makes little things 10 times worse, because you already have that stress of, I'm having to pay all of the bills and this is not what I originally signed up for. And if you want to pay all the bills, that's fine. But if it's someone that does not want to, like they literally did not know this person was financially irresponsible, like it's going to cause a lot of stress and a lot of resentment and a lot of anger. And then it just makes the relationship super messy and just super stressful. I know, because I've been in that situation, and I would not wish that on anyone, because it's not pretty. And I'm going to say it like this. Basically, you work too dang hard to get your financial house in order, to connect yourself to someone that's going to put your progress in jeopardy. For me, as an example, I want to be a real estate investor. Therefore, I want someone with the same financial aspirations as me. That way, they are more understanding of the financial decisions that I make. So they're more understanding of why I put myself on a tight budget, why I put my money over here in a savings account versus going out and spending it, why I don't take a lot of vacations, things like that. And one thing that's really surprising, especially in the personal finance community, is that some people don't find out about their spouse's debt until after they are married. So they'll get married and then find out their spouse has 6 figures in debt. And I feel like when you have, these conversations and you normalize talking about finances while dating, then that helps that person to be more comfortable to tell you, like, hey, I have about 6 figures in debt. And that way, if that person feels comfortable enough to put a ring on your finger, then they will allow you to help them as far as planning. Like, you can help them get through this process, or at least to get a chunk of the debt knocked out before you walk down the aisle. That way you're not starting off your marriage, which should be a really happy time because you're newlyweds, under a lot of financial stress, because you're starting out your new journey, your new life together, drowning under debt. And really quickly, I want to make this disclaimer because it needs to be said. You are worthy of receiving a man that is equally yoked. Whatever it is that you desire, you are worthy of receiving it. And in today's society, I feel like we push this narrative of, you got to take what you can get. But I call complete BS on that. And I can say that because I had that mentality for a long time, that I just had to take what I could get because, no one's going to align with my values, But now that I'm at a place where I'm mentally healthy, I'm at a place where I know what I'm worth. I know my values. I know what I bring to the table. I can call BS on that. You do not have to put yourself on a discount to find love. If someone tells you, girl, your standards are too high, give them a thumbs up and keep it moving. Just because that person feels like they are not able to find someone of value without putting themselves on a clearance rack, that has nothing to do with you. That's them putting their fears and their doubts on you. You know what you bring to the table. Keep it pushing. But now I want to get into the tips that I have for whenever you are dating, how to make talking about money less awkward. So let's start with number 1. The first tip that I have is to make a list of your ideal man's financial habits. Just like you make a list, detailing out the qualities you want this man to have, make a list of the financial habits or situation that you want this man to have. Do you want this man to be interested and open to investing? Do you want this man to have a fully funded emergency fund? Do you not want this man to spend all of his money on material things? Do you want a man that is open to going 50-50, or do you want a man that is the sole financial provider or main financial provider? Your list is going to look different from the next person's because they are your own personal wants. And you also want to include your non-negotiables. What are the things that you are not willing to negotiate on when it comes to finances? Second tip that I have is to simply observe this person. Just sit back and practice discernment. Because 9 times out of 10, when you are just simply observing their spending habits, it's going to tell you a lot of what you already need to know. And you want to do this mainly in the beginning of the dating relationship, because you don't want to start off asking them 10 million questions. That's off-putting. But if you simply sit back and just watch this person, listen to what they say, then that's good for the beginning, because you're just still trying to figure out if you even like this person. But, you know, are they super conservative, or are they super flashy? Where do they like to eat? Where do they like to shop? Did you have to pick up the tab on the first date? Otherwise, you would have still been on that date. Things like that. And a really good thing to do is observe what they say about money. Like, watch what they say about their finances and just money in general. For example, I had someone that was always like, I just spent XYZ racks at the mall. I just blew so much money. And it was the word blew. The actual word blue that had me like waving my red flag. I had put my red flag up because I'm concerned. I was concerned because I'm not a super flashy person. I know how I am financially, and I was like, I don't really know if this person's going to align with what I'm looking for. But if some concerns arise based on your observations, just add them to the list, because you're doing this in the beginning. And then if the relationship continues to blossom, make sure that you are getting clarification on these things, just so you're not, you know, making assumptions based on your own observations. You want to actually discuss these things with that person, because we all know what happens when we assume. Third tip is to open the money conversation around a topic that actually interests this person. And this just makes it a lot less awkward, because talking about money in general is super awkward, and it's going to be super awkward, especially with someone that you're dating, because you don't want them to make these assumptions about you, like you want their money or something like that. And this is the way that I actually weaseled my way into certain money topics, just to see where this person stands on certain things. So if you were observing this person in the beginning, then hopefully you have one or two things that you know that this person likes. So let's say that you notice this person likes wearing Jordans, and on your list, you are wanting a man that is open to investing. So we all know Michael Jordan, he's a businessman and he's an investor. So a way that you can open this up is to be like, you know, hey, I was reading this article about Michael Jordan saying that he was worth 55 million. And it was talking about all of these investments that he had made. How do you feel about investing? Do you have any investments? You know, just make it natural. Don't be super awkward like I just was, but just make it natural. Just ask the questions as the conversation is naturally flowing, because like I was saying before, you don't want to put this person off. You don't want to put this person off, and you just ask certain questions based on where you are in your relationship. So in the beginning, like on your first date, don't ask this man what his 10-year financial plan is. That is a really good way to probably not get asked out again. I mean, I guess you could ask it if you're wanting to get rid of that person and you're too awkward to say, hey, this isn't working. But if you're really interested in this person, you know, just ask questions, the level of intimacy when it comes to the questions based on where you are in the relationship. And then as the relationship blossoms, as it progresses, you can get into more in-depth questions that you maybe have that you're wanting to ask or you're wanting to know. All right, so that wraps up these tips. I don't want to make this super long, but I do want to say that, you know, you're not a gold digger for wanting certain qualities in a man, certain financial qualities in a man. You are a woman that is trying to make sure that her financial progress is not going to be hindered, that your finances are going to be secure, whether you're on your own or whether you're in a relationship. So don't let anyone make you feel bad for having a list of non-negotiables. But I did say that in the post, I wanted you guys to talk about your experiences. I wanted you guys to talk about any tips that you may have for other people. I would love for conversations to be going on in the comments, so leave them down below, and I will catch you on the next video.